They told me my newborn baby had died. But for 19 years, something in my heart refused to believe it. What if I told you I found him again, alive, silent, and sitting in a classroom where I worked? This is not just a story. It's a mother's worst nightmare, a husband's terrible lie, and a secret that broke a family forever. White right pointing backhand index, stay with me till the end, because the truth you're about to hear will make your heart ache and heal at the same time. My name is Maria Lopez. I live in Austin, Texas. I work at a small special needs school, helping children learn small things: colors, painting, holding a pencil. People say I'm kind, but for years, I was broken inside. 19 years ago, I gave birth to a baby boy. His name was supposed to be Alex. I waited for him with all my heart. But just a few hours after birth, the doctor came into the room with quiet eyes and a soft voice. He said, "I'm sorry. Your baby didn't make it." I was confused. I never saw my son. They didn't let me hold him. My husband Mark held my hand and whispered, "He's gone, Maria. It's better you don't see him." He was weak. He wouldn't have survived. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run to the nursery. But I was weak and in pain. I trusted him. I believed what they told me. But I never forgot. Even after I left the hospital, I would wake up at night, thinking I heard a baby cry. I would stand at the kitchen sink, milk leaking from my chest, crying. Because I was a mother without a child. Mark told me we could try again. But I didn't want another baby. I wanted my baby. But Mark slowly closed the topic. He said, "Let it go, Maria. It's for the best." He didn't want to try again. And I didn't ask why. Years passed. I stopped asking questions. I became quiet. My friends stopped calling. I stopped going out. It felt like life had ended that day in the hospital. Last year, after many years of doing nothing, I applied for a part-time job at a special needs school. It was a quiet job. Not much talking. Just helping teachers and calming the children. One morning, I entered the art room and saw a boy sitting alone. He had messy dark hair, quiet eyes, and was building a tower of red blocks. His face was calm but distant. The teacher said, "That's Alex. He's nonverbal. Severe autism. Doesn't like to be touched. Doesn't talk." My heart skipped a beat. "What's his name?" I asked. "Alex." I didn't speak for a moment. I looked at him carefully. His eyes, his hair, even the shape of his nose. It felt familiar. But I shook my head. I'm just imagining things, I thought. But something felt different about him. He wasn't afraid of me. When I sat beside him, he looked into my eyes. Just for a second. The teacher was shocked. "He never does that," she said. After that, I started working more with Alex. I helped him with painting. He liked to mix red and blue. He didn't talk, but he would sit calmly with me. Sometimes, when I picked up a brush, he would quietly hand me the other one. We didn't speak, but we understood something. One day, I looked at his file. My hands were shaking. His birthday was October 17th, the same day as my son. I told myself it was just a coincidence. But deep down, my heart was pounding. That night, I couldn't sleep. I started digging through old papers. I found my hospital file. There was no photo, no footprints, no doctor signature, just a short line, infant deceased shortly after delivery. That's all. No name, no explanation, nothing. The next day, I met an old nurse from that hospital. I lied and said I was doing a research project. She remembered a case, a baby born with issues. She said, the father didn't want the mother to see him. He handled everything. My mouth went dry. Was the baby really dead? I asked. She looked uncomfortable. I don't know, but I remember the mother never saw him. She was never told the full story. I left with shaking legs. I asked Mark that night, why didn't they let me see the baby? He froze. Maria, that was a long time ago. Don't start this again. Was he really dead? I asked again. He looked away. You were too weak. I didn't want you to suffer more. That was not an answer. When he went to bed, I searched through his old papers. I found a locked box in his closet. Inside were letters. One of them was from a private agency. It said, "Thank you for trusting us with the placement. The child is stable and adjusting well." My heart stopped. Placement? The child? He was alive. Mark had lied. He had given my son away. Because he had autism. Because he wasn't perfect. Because he didn't want the shame. I sat on the floor and cried until my body felt empty. The next day, I went to the school director. I told her everything. I said Alex might be my son. I said I wanted to find out. They thought I was crazy at first. But I agreed to take a DNA test. It took weeks. During those weeks, I spent more time with Alex. One afternoon, I took him to the park. He liked the swings. I pushed him gently. He smiled for the first time. Not a big smile. Just a small curl of his lips. But it was enough. 2 weeks later, I got the call. The test was positive. He was my son. I wanted to scream, laugh, cry, run to him. But I did none of that. I just stood still and whispered, I knew it. I was allowed to apply for custody. Since he had never been adopted, it was possible. Mark had no legal claim. He had signed everything away years ago. I didn't tell Mark. I didn't need to. I just packed a bag, took one photo, and left him. I moved into a small apartment with Alex. The first night, he sat on the floor and played with his red blocks. I made dinner. He didn't speak, but he sat at the table with me. I watched him for hours. Every little movement. Every small hum. He was my baby. My Alex. One morning, I showed him an old photo of me holding a baby blanket. I said softly, "This was yours." He looked at it, then pointed at me, then at the photo, then back at me. I nodded. "Yes, I'm your mom." He didn't react at first. Then slowly, he came close and touched my face. Then he whispered, "Mama." That one word broke every wall inside me. I held him and cried like I had never cried before. I rocked him back and forth, whispering, "I found you. I found you." He never spoke another word. But he didn't need to. We made a new life. Small, quiet, peaceful. Sometimes he would sit by the window and hum to himself. I would sit next to him with a cup of tea, holding his hand. He didn't need to be perfect. He was mine. I had lost 19 years. But I had found him. The world called him broken. But to me, he was whole. Some people say miracles don't happen. But I say, sometimes, they just take longer to arrive. I was told my son died. But he didn't. He was stolen by the one man I trusted most. And yet, love found its way. Because a mother never forgets. And love never gives up.